Russian soldiers are caught in the trenches. Soldier caught by drone while sleeping. Russian military vehicle destroyed by kamikaze. Abrams tank raid on Russian trenches. Failed operations. Destroyed vehicles. FPV drone attacks. Desperate Russian soldiers. Stay tuned for more. June 15th, 2025. The 414th Assault UAV Brigade conducted a prolonged pursuit of a trench in the Andriivka area. No movement of Russian troops was observed. Finally, the presence of a Russian soldier in the trench was detected. Ukrainian forces immediately launched FPV kamikaze drones. The drone, carrying a high explosive bomb, approached the trench and targeted it. The trench is severely damaged, but a second drone is sent to deliver the final blow. The Russian soldier was trapped under debris in the trench. Ukrainian 30th Mechanized Brigade destroyed a weird-looking Russian vehicle. The vehicle was previously attacked by an FPV drone, rendering it immobile. A FPV drone attack was then carried out inside the vehicle. You can support us by liking and commenting on the video. July 14th, 2025. 414th UAV Brigade of Ukraine, Birds of Magyar, pursued a Russian infantryman with 2 FPV drones. When the Russian soldier noticed the drone, he started running and maneuvering. He tried to shoot it down several times with his weapon, but without success, the drone eventually targeted the Russian soldier directly. A Russian soldier is spotted sleeping under a tree. When a Ukrainian FPV kamikaze drone approaches a Russian soldier, the soldier wakes up, but it's too late. He tries to stop the drone with one last move. July 14th, 2025. 3rd Ukrainian Assault Brigade detected Russian troops building new trenches in Novopavlivka region. Russian soldiers were hard at work building the trench. Soon after, Ukrainian artillery launched an attack on the Russian troops. One by one, the Russian soldiers suffered casualties while the survivors fled. The Ukrainian Pentagon unit of the 225th Assault Regiment, operating in the Sumy region, used fiber optic drones to advance in the Andriivka area, attacking Russian forces' UAV checkpoints, artillery, infantry positions, and Russian logistics. A large number of Russian military vehicles were destroyed. The Andriivka region has become an area where Ukrainian forces have stepped up their operations. Footage of offensive operations captured on action cameras by fighters of the Russian volunteer troops during the operation to liberate the Vovchansk aggregate plant. Operation in the Kharkiv region, Vovchansk city, 30 Ukrainian troops dominate the area. Intense firepower is being used against buildings housing Russian troops. There are also occasional close contact clashes with Russian troops. At the end of the operation, Russian soldiers are repelled from the region. Ukrainian FPV drones destroyed a house on the outskirts of the village of Novakske, Donetsk region, where Russian assault troops had taken cover. After the attack, Russian soldiers immediately left the house and moved to another house. A total of 2 Russian soldiers hid in panic in another house, unaware that the drone was watching them. Repeated drone strikes in a row. With each attack, the roof of the house gradually collapsed. The FPV drones kept attacking until there was nothing left of the house. Eventually, the Russian soldiers were trapped under the rubble. July 14th, 2025. Ukrainian Leopard 1. A-5 tanks simultaneously hit Russian positions in Pidubna, north of Velika Novosilka, and another settlement. The 2nd Tank Company of the 5th Heavy Mechanized Brigade neutralized Russian troops from their hiding places. July 15th, 2025. Ukrainian Signum Battalion, Lyman direction, used FPV drones to destroy a large number of Russian equipment and infantry. Numerous Russian military vehicles and rocket launcher systems were destroyed, mostly in attacks on logistics routes. A Russian infantryman is forced to come out of hiding after being attacked by mortars. He runs across an open field, not realizing that drones are following him, but this escape did not last long. Ukrainian FPV kamikazes directly targeted the Russian soldier. The crew of a Ukrainian MiG-29 fighter jet flying at extremely low altitude switches to afterburner, quickly gains altitude and drops GBU-39 bombs on a Russian UAV command center. The Russian command center in the Zaporizhzhia region was completely destroyed. Ukrainian soldiers in a mobile fire team shot down a Russian drone in the direction of Toretsk. The drone belonging to Russian forces wanted to target Ukrainian soldiers, but the soldiers managed to shoot down the drone in several shots. July 13th, 2025. Drones of the Ukrainian Black Forest Brigade detected the Buk M3 SAM missile system using a drone. FPV kamikaze drone was sent immediately afterwards. The $45 million Russian missile system was destroyed with just one FPV kamikaze drone. July 14th, 2025. Ukrainian forces observed movement in the Kherson region, south of the village of Krinky. Russian soldiers loading ammunition onto a vehicle. Russian soldiers were expected to load the vehicle with ammunition. An FPV kamikaze drone was sent the moment they got into the vehicle. The vehicle was destroyed in a single strike, along with the ammunition inside. With only one tank, the Ukrainian 12th Tank Battalion launched a sudden and shock attack on Russian trenches in the Kharkiv region. Russian positions were destroyed by tank shelling. No Russian troops were able to respond to the tank attack, which lasted about half an hour. The Ukrainian tank quickly moved away from the area after the destruction. 2 Russian soldiers were detected in an abandoned house by a M2 drone strike group of the Azov troops. FPV drone attack on Russian soldiers in preparation. Preparing to leave the house after the first attack, the Russian soldiers quickly began to gather their equipment. But they still didn't know that a drone was following them. A second FPV drone attack dealt the final blow. A Russian armored infantry carrier, BMP-2, stands in the middle of a field to evacuate soldiers. Ukrainian forces mobilized for a FPV drone attack before Russian soldiers had even left the trenches. The Russian armored vehicle was shot down and destroyed. Ukrainian 3rd Assault Brigade targets a Russian soldier walking alone in a field with an FPV kamikaze drone. At first, the Russian soldier doesn't understand what is happening. He then tries to shoot down the drone, but he doesn't succeed. The drone hits the soldier directly. A Ukrainian FPV drone spots a Russian soldier in a field and pursues him. The Russian soldier, strangely, doesn't move. He either stands still, thinking the drone won't see him, or he's frozen in fear. The Ukrainian drone pilot circles the Russian soldier, but the soldier makes no move. Finally, the drone targets the Russian soldier. Soldiers gathered around a Russian UAZ 452 van, unaware of what was about to happen, were about to board the vehicle when they were targeted by an FPV kamikaze drone. The vehicle was completely destroyed, and 2 Russian soldiers lost their lives. July 12th, 2025. Russian troops spotted in Oleshki, Kherson region. A total of 10 kamikaze drone attacks on Russian soldiers. The houses they fled to after the attack were shot and destroyed one by one. Finally, the military satellite was neutralized. Russian forces, which are completely defenseless against drones, continue to suffer a lot of losses since the beginning of the war. Ukrainian fighter jet used precision bombs to destroy a nest of Russian elite FPV drone operators. Pivnichno-Slobozhansk area, observed by the 47th Mechanized Brigade's drone pilots. July 13th, 2025. The Ukrainian 63rd Mechanized Brigade detected Russian soldiers entering the trench in the Zaporizhia region, followed by an FPV kamikaze attack. Multiple camouflaged bunkers of Russian forces in the same area were also destroyed one by FPV drones. In just a few hours, 10 Russian trenches were neutralized, and many Russian soldiers lost their lives. As of July 15, 2025, the front lines remain largely static, but the intensity of drone warfare is escalating. Ukrainian forces are using FPV kamikaze drones to strike vehicles, trenches, and supply lines, while artillery duels continue daily.